University of Graz and the Center for Southeast European Studies has been working on the Balkans and kind of contemporary political developments for more than 10 years now. So this is one of the areas of our interest, and so we were looking at ways we can expand that and also cooperate with other partners to look beyond the Balkan region or bring in our expertise and put it in a comparative perspective. So I think what roused our curiosity was the ability to compare the Balkans with the MENA regions. I think the comparative area studies approach is one thing which piqued our curiosity. And the other one is the topic itself. So of course, since the rise of ISIS and the fact that quite a number of citizens of the Balkans left for Syria and Iraq, there was a lot of interest in radicalisation, but we felt that this interest was, first of all, country by country, never comparative. And second of all, it was very much security driven. It was always through the angle of how to detect and how to prevent this from happening, but not so much in terms of understanding the underlying social dynamics which caused it. So I think this was a nice way to try to understand it and try to develop a more comprehensive concept of how to study this phenomena and not just look at the departures for Iraq and Syria, which is the most radical expression of it, but look at different ways in which citizens in the countries might feel like they're excluded or how they feel they are marginalized. Well, we see our role as twofold. First of all, our formal role is very much to make sure that the different data which we gather from the different levels, macro, meso, and micro level, fit together, and that we engage in the comparative studies so that we really have the comparative perspective. This is something we're responsible for, and we're looking very much forward to have this kind of bird's eye view over the different studies to make sure we identify trends and find out in a certain way red threads. And then of course the other side is where we see as our expertise as a center devoted to the study of the Balkans is to have that angle, that knowledge, the comparative knowledge of both politics, socioeconomic developments in the Balkans to kind of understand that context, which is very important for understanding the regional dynamics. A lot in the countries of the Balkans has been a focus on securitizing particular groups, often Muslim communities, rather than trying to understand what are the socioeconomic and other drivers which might be really the causes of it. So we hope that the tools we'll develop, the mechanisms we'll identify, will allow for a more fine-tuned approach. And often, because these are countries which are subject to external assistance and external policy advice, they're aspiring EU member states, some of them are already in the European Union. So of course, EU policy towards the region is also very important. And we find that in recent years it's often been what has been called more geopolitical. So the focus is more on how the EU can combat the influence of other external actors, be they Turkey, be they Russia, be they China. And that is maybe understandable, but the risk of that is to kind of forget the individual perspective, the social perspective, how individual citizens feel. And in fact, when we look at the region, citizens respond either by exit, thousands of them leave for the European Union, or by silence, by not kind of withdrawing. And already very few are radicalized, but if we understand those who are radicalized, we can understand the larger patterns of social marginalization and exclusion which many citizens experience. And that can lead to policy recommendations and ideas of what can be done, which hopefully tackle some of the more kind of structural problems the societies are facing. Well, I think what is great about the team is that we have academics, we have think tankers, we have activists. So that's going to be challenging. Of course, it's a lot more comfortable to be just with one type of community, be it policy analysts, be it academics. So we'll in a certain way challenge each other because we'll have different, first of all, how we perceive our needs or what we believe is important. But I think that's kind of going to be making it maybe more difficult, but also more interesting. And certainly I think the results will be, hopefully academically rigorous, but also applicable and usable. And I think that's difficult with any project, but I think the team, ensures that they are the critical voices of each, area to demand academic rigor, policy relevance, and also applicability to society.